there's this one thing that I feel. This is like 2020. Anyone out there shouldn't feel like that because you're a different culture.
Yes.
Because literally everyone are already like mushed up into like one society. Embrace it. Like you just global citizen. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you should think like you are just a global citizen.
Today's guest is very special. She's the first ever person whom I invited in a face-to-face interview here in my humble abode. I've known her for a little over a year now because we work together. One table apart, exactly. And I figured it'll be interesting to sit down and chat with her in a different setting than at work. Talk about her zesty experiences living here in Australia. My guest for today is someone who is a little bit the same but at the same time different from me. So it'll provide a lot of flavor in today's episode. So I will be asking Stef some of her colorful experiences here in Australia. Hi Stef, thanks for coming out here.
Well, thanks for having me. Pleasure. Hopefully it's useful for anyone who listen to this.
Yes, it will be, Stef. So I know you've studied here some time ago in Australia. Was it university or high school?
So I moved here like 2008 after high school. So
Right away.
I came to Australia for my university degree.
Yeah.
And I'm still here, stuck here, and
Stuck here in the land down under.
it's not a bad place to be stuck in
Yeah.
at this you know
Yeah, this day and
at this
age.
day and age.
But why did you decided to study here in Australia? Like,
Well, there's a drama behind it.
oh,
So I actually already enrolled in medical school in Indonesia. So my mom is a doctor. So when I was growing up, I always, you see your mom, doing a good things, taking care of like sick people. Then when you were a kid, you just always when you grown up, you always want to become a doctor. Then which is I study hard, and then I enrolled into one of the medical school in Jakarta. But then when you're adult, you start thinking, and then you start like, is it really what you want? And then I get cold feet, so I end up cancel. I don't think it's for me. And then at that point, I don't really know what I want to do. Like, it's pretty much, it was my dream to become a doctor, but a doctor in Indonesia, it's not. It's the hard work that you put into a doctor. I don't think it's appreciated. Like it's very sad. It's not really well paid unless you are
famous.
Famous or very specialist, which is like you need another 20 years of specialty to become. Yeah, I don't think I'm that dedicated. And then I'm the youngest daughter of three.
Okay.
So I just don't want to like burden my parents, which means I have to like study longer, and then I might be a successful doctor, I might not. That is just too.
And how did your mom take it, Stef?
My mom actually worried. Like she was like really shocked. Obviously, everyone knows I always want to become a doctor.
Oh yeah.
So my mom already like checked me into a psychologist.
Oh my.
Just checking like if there is something wrong with me or anything.
Oh my.
But it just no. I like if doctor profession in Indonesia is better, I'm probably still doing it.
Okay.
But it's not well paid, and then you have to. Like it's so much work,
the effort and the benefits, like cost and benefit.
Like in probably it's the same like in the Philippines. Like how much, even though you're a doctor, how much when you graduate, how much you get paid.
Yeah.
And compare, well, like in Australia, when you graduate as a doctor, yes, you have a head start in your earning. Yeah. But in Indonesia, you don't have any head start.
Yeah, totally. I totally get that.
And then you work, and then you work 12 hour a day, and then for the next 10 years, then you probably settle. So
Yeah.
just like, and then it's just more like when and at that point I kind of like realized, and then you just do the math, and then it doesn't add up. It doesn't, it's not worth it.
And then when you do the math, oh, I will do finance. Like, is it like right away? Okay, mom, tomorrow after the psychologist, the
No.
appointment, I go to Australia. What
No, I have my uncle here in Australia.
Ah.
So, and then at that point, like, I don't really know what profession that I want to do. And then so my mom just said, like, just do business. Like, business, you can be anyone. You can be, you know, you can go to any
Anywhere.
industry, and then, or you can decide later. So that's
Yeah.
kind of like that. That's what my mom said. And then my dad is pretty liberal. So as long I decided and responsible to what my decision, my dad
No, that's
was very
good.
supportive.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom is just like just checking everything. I'm in the right mind in making a decision. So, and yeah, I didn't regret it at all. It's the best thing that I made in my life. But it's bring where I am today.
Yeah. And when you came in uni, so did you had some culture shocks, or you already have some friends or Indonesian friends already here that you know of?
No, I don't have not much culture shock. Probably I'm quite independent since I was young. So, my mom sent me to Australia when I was like 14, just for homestay for 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Oh.
So, I've been here.
I know that's why you're so colorful life stuff.
So it's kind of like, my mom already like prepare us to be abroad by ourselves, and I think all of us, like me and my sister, we went to they sent us to Australia for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
There's a program, homestay program, which is like, we went to Australia by ourselves with a group of friends, but away from the parents, just English course and traveling, but it's so we know how to travel without parents.
Yeah. Oh.
So I know what I signed up for.
Oh.
It's not culture shock, but and then I told you before, I have my uncle here as well, so obviously it probably helped my parents keep them peace in mind that someone
Yeah.
can look after me, and if something urgent happen, or someone can still watch me. And then
Yeah.
a lot of my high school friends study in Australia,
Oh.
but most of them they study in Melbourne. So I
Okay.
only have like one good friend of mine. Well, now she's become a good friend of mine because we live in Brisbane. And then like from my high school, only this one girl that
Yeah.
in this city. So,
So,
and then,
yeah. You have to just okay. Oh, like
yeah, that's it. She's probably like my first friend in Australia, and then she's one of my best friend.
Ah, that's great. And so you chose Brisbane because your uncle is here as well. Is that it, or it's just because you like the weather, or it's just because you have?
No, because I'm avoiding other Indonesian. No, because like there's like so many Indonesian in Melbourne and Sydney. It's not avoiding them. I still have
Yeah,
like a lot of
yeah.
Indonesian friend here in Brisbane. But it's just like, okay, you study in Australia, you don't
You-
want to hang around, the same people.
Yeah,
Otherwise you don't learn anything new.
exactly. Yeah,
If you have a different friend
exactly.
from different nationality, different background, then you
grow.
you learn new things
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, it's good that you had this mindset already, Steph, when you were in college or university. Me, like I was just nothing, like just watching anime. But anyway, so when you started uni, and any memorable experience you could share to us with your journey in university?
When I was in uni, I think the most memorable experience is just like meeting a lot of different people from different country, like not only Australian but Japanese, Korean. In my class, there's like a lot of there's like Filipinos, more like people even outside Australia. So
And with that, did you had to your application for university? So you had to take the like IELTS before coming here. Is
yeah.
it? Ah,
So
okay.
we have to do IELTS test, and then so I think it was pretty easy. Like as long as you can speak English, and then you have the minimum requirement was like 6 back then. I don't
Ah, okay.
know.
Now it's they said it's like 7 or something, and it said they said it's quite hard to get it.
Yeah.
So and then
It's getting harder. Like
It's getting harder,
So
yeah.
what back then it was like it was still quite
yeah,
easy.
that was 2008, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So you met different kinds of nationalities, and did you meet your boyfriend there now, the current boyfriend, or?
No, no. I don't have boyfriend until I get my permanent residence.
Oh, is that your own rule?
It's just my
or-
own. It's not.
your own rule. I thought like Australian
It's
rule.
not like I don't want to, but like I wasn't looking, and what I wasn't.
You're not interested at
Not
that time.
not interested, like not intensively looking as well.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
you just focus on one thing.
Yeah.
When I made a decision to Australia, my dad only tell me one thing. You know what? Fine, I'll send you to Australia, but it's only one-way ticket. That's what he said to me. So back then, my goal was like, okay, I have to make it in Australia. I have to stay in Australia, finish school, and have find a job. That was my focus. So I just don't want to like, oh, what if fall in love with a guy, but you can't stay in Australia. Then you have to separate. Like you already like have relationship, but then you can't stay in Australia because whatever you don't get the visa or permanent residence,
okay.
or you don't have a job, then you end up have to go back. I don't like that kind of drama. Like when I do something, I like, okay, it's gonna work. I don't like to gamble. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
when you're in university, you don't have job, you don't know what to do. Back then when I was uni, my friend, like a lot of my friend was just struggling just to stay in Australia.
Oh.
They just doing like student visa, and then they just renewing student visa, and their life about just trying to stay in Australia.
Did you do some part-time jobs when you were at uni?
Yeah, I do. I just did just low class job, like work in
Barista. Had you tried being a barista or?
No, I didn't get a barista, but I work in Oporto, like fast food shop, like
right.
McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Just like easy job, in uni, no commitment, just get some pocket money. But it was like, so it's a low class job, but that
It kept you afloat.
yeah, it kept me afloat. But and then I learned a lot too. Like it was funny. That shop, that was in Meyer Center,
Ah, okay.
and then everyone in Oporto back then, everyone who worked in Oporto, they all like educated people. They all PhD. They all like studying master. They all immigrants that they don't work there as a job. It's a stepping stone for everyone.
Oh.
So all my friends who used to work in Oporto, they all like manager at the bank. They were now like if I met them, they are become scientists in UQ.
Oh, really?
And then work in like medical company, and they all scientists, and then it's full of impressive people.
It's when you look back, it's like
yeah.
it was a low paying job, or let's say a fast food job, but look at how it got you.
Yeah, and then everyone
now.
there was like, it's funny, like in front of Oporto, in front of us in front of the shop is KFC.
Okay.
And then you can tell the difference of them. Well, not judging the people, but you can tell there is like some people that already worked there for like 15 years in KFC, but compared to our shop, like everyone have like degree, everyone have a master degree, and everyone like immigrants, but it's educated immigrant.
Yeah.
They just everyone were back then working there because they don't have their permanent resident yet.
Yeah.
But once one by one we have our permanent resident, then we all find we all have a good job, and everyone have a better job. So it's, people might see it as a low class job, but that's what bring someone to the next journey, I guess.
Yes. Oh, it's very nice.
If you see someone who work low class job as a barista,
Yeah, you
or
never know.
you just never know.
Yeah.
Like it's probably just one phase of someone's life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite good insight for our listeners. You see someone in like those kinds of
Yeah.
shops, but you never know in the after a few years, that you might be reporting to that someone. Like you might be that could
Correct.
be your
Like,
manager,
Yeah, you
like-
never know, or it could be your boss one day, or that person could be probably your in-laws
Yeah.
one day. You just never know.
Yeah. At that time, was there already Uber here? Did you try being like
No.
deliver?
Nah, I
delivery?
don't. It's probably good. Like I was thinking, like those Uber people, it's probably good. Like they keep fit, but nah, it's probably too hard. You probably get like skin cancer or something.
From the traveling.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, it's not. No, that's not the
Yeah.
risk that I'm willing to take.
I actually like wished as well when I was younger that my parents would have sent me like being made me much more independent because I could have learned a lot by then. But it just shows that people who start early with maybe taking some jobs like you
Yeah.
do could learn earlier and then could grow earlier in their journey as well.
Yeah.
And so you were in Oporto and then you graduated. After your student visa in uni, how long was it for you to get the permanent residency here?
I think around after uni you get like 1.5 year graduate visa,
Okay.
and then after that either you get enough point to apply for a permanent residence visa, or or you have to study again, or you have to get a working sponsor. So that was the option. So back then I have my graduate visa, then I was working in an agriculture company, and then my graduate visa almost ran out, but I'm so grateful back then the company actually give me sponsor to stay, so I'm kind of like save for a couple of years until I apply my own visa and I don't have to sell my soul for that company. No, but yeah, it's part of learning. I work with like amazing people.
Yeah.
That's I finished. I start, and then I was studying CPA back then as well in that company, so I learned a lot. So
That's very interesting stuff. So let's move on to your a little bit more personal side of your relationship. So I know that you're currently in a relationship right now, if that's okay to ask.
yes, I am in a relationship.
And how is it dating in general here in Australia?
It's dating in general.
Then
It compared to Indonesia.
yeah.
It's different because I don't know with Philippines. In Indonesia, if we are dating, it's kind of like obvious, like they are dating you, like
Court the girl, like like ask.
yeah, like
Can you be my girlfriend?
Yes, like the guy would be obvious as, would you be my girlfriend? Like it's actually clear, but in Australia, it's kind of like you're probably dating for a year. There wasn't a line that there wasn't. We don't have an affirmation that okay, we are in relationship. So the relationship is kind of blur from just like acquaintance to friend to something serious. It's you don't know where to start.
Oh really?
So it's kind of like are we in a relationship? We like that. I think like compared to Indonesian and Australia.
Oh.
And
It's not. It's
the
quite
answer.
informal. It's quite informal.
It's just kind of
start.
like it's kind of informal start, and then it's kind of like grow like really slowly. Instead of like in Indonesia, you're actually aware that you are
being courted, like the
Yeah.
guy is
Yeah.
pursuing you.
the guy is pursuing you, and then you kind of like make decision. Okay,
Yes or
I would
no.
like to try.
Yeah.
I would like to try. Okay, well I like you too, and I would be
Yeah.
your girlfriend. But here it's kind of like you seeing this guy, and then that guy still seeing other girl. So it
You don't know.
you kind of like don't know, like, am I your girl? Yeah, are you pursuing me or are you pursuing her? Like, it's
Okay.
very blur.
Interesting, because I have also a friend in my previous episode. She mentioned about that as well. So I thought that it's because they just met unconventionally. So they met on Tinder. And then also she mentioned that she wasn't sure if they were in a relationship. So it seems like it's the common
Yeah.
common denominator here.
It's like, if back in I think I would say Asian culture, if you going see movie with a guy, you kind of already you shouldn't go to really you shouldn't go to the movie with a girl if you're not in a relationship or you are actually going that way.
Yeah.
But here it seems like,
Yeah.
it just hang out.
And so
Like-
they call it hangout,
Yeah.
but it's actually kind of dating as well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of dating, but they don't want to admit it.
Oh,
You're dating
yeah.
until someone else better come along.
Okay.
But no, that's it.
That's the usual.
That's the culture. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like having a friend. It's like
It's really
having
quite
a friend of benefit, even though the benefit doesn't have to be sexual. Like even though the benefit just like you have someone with to watching a movie or you have someone with to hang out.
Oh, interesting.
It's just that like very
Blurred line.
blurred line, and then you kind of like, that's why in Australia you can't fall for someone like really fast too soon, because it probably means nothing.
And so how long did you guys say like, okay, we are now in a relationship? How can you imagine, like, from the time that you like hang out and then to the time that, okay, we decide that, okay, we are already in a relationship?
I think if younger me, I probably just 6 months.
Okay.
Then I kind of like, okay, what I'm actually doing this, but with me and my current relationship, I think we're pretty clear from the beginning.
Okay, that's
So I
good.
met him online as well.
Oh,
And then I remember our first date, when you first date, and he kind of like, oh, how's your love life? Why you are in online dating? And then like, I was like, I'm just like, I told him, dating is easy. You just have a nice meal, have a good time, and haha, blah blah blah, and then you just do fun things. The next step is harder, like
exactly.
the
Maintaining it.
maintaining is harder.
Yeah.
Either someone is not right for you, you get bored, or if someone not growing with you, or if someone suffocated you, also
Yeah.
it's bad for you. Like, so dating is easy because that's just
It's
the fun
short
part.
term, like
No,
short term, or
it's only the fun part.
yeah.
The fun part is always easy.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
you just someone woo you, take you to a nice place, nice dinner. That's the easy part. Like, I have no problem with that.
What is the unique aspect about dating someone from a different country?
Depend on which country. Depend on which country. Like, even Australian is very broad. Like, depend on which Australian. City
Really?
Australian
Really?
or countryside Australian. It's totally
Okay.
different. Like,
Oh.
same like city people or country people are still somewhat,
More
they're
traditional,
still
or
not traditional. They're more humble,
and then the people in the city are much more quote,
confident.
unquote, or,
Probably like it's so different. If for example, if they grown up in a small town, they move to the city, then they consider like from
from the country.
the country,
Yeah.
because they still like holding value. They have like they grown up with their family, but the one in the city,
They are much
somewhat
more liberated. or-
liberated, individualist. They don't.
Like they are unconventional in their views.
Yeah, it's
about
not like
relationships.
very different. Like, it's not family oriented anymore.
Okay, gotcha.
That's I kind of like that, because it's similar, like Asian Asian culture. We still very rooted with our family. The one that in the city, or they or grown up, their parents are in Brisbane. It's kind of like they already lose that. They don't.
That tight knit.
Yeah, but it's
Tight-knit
back again. It's depend on
how they grew up.
Yeah,
with
depend
their
how they
family.
grew up. So it's not like
One size fits all. Or
yeah,
something.
not one size fit all. Just get to know
Yeah.
the culture, get to know new people, get to know people character. Like I date one German guy. He's very
He was here as
he
well?
was here. I would say like typical German guy. Very working oriented, and then
Was he like already here in Australia for a long time?
no,
or?
it's he came to Australia to work. So
Oh, okay.
so
He's not really like permanently here
no,
just
he's-
for work. Okay.
yeah, well, he permanently here for work because of work.
Because of
So
work.
he moved here because of work. So that was actually a funny experience. I learned something about German guy. I don't know whether it's right or true or not or what.
Yeah.
That's one
but
of my
that's your
experience.
personal experience, yeah.
So we kind of like dating for a couple weeks, and then he have to go to America for 2 weeks, and then so we kind of like still texting, and then talking and go for dinner, and then he have to go to America for 2 weeks. And then he suddenly like, I didn't hear anything from him at all, like at all, just at all. So I was just like confused, like, okay, did he ghosted me? Fine,
Yeah.
Like it's just like, well, if you already like talking regularly,
Yeah.
and then he just suddenly
Maybe he died or something.
I
We
don't know. Then he's back in 2 weeks, and then he's back in 2 weeks, and then
Okay.
we met again, and then I was just like, and then he's like act like nothing happened, and then like, let's go out, like go for dinner. I was like, huh? Like, I'm just confused, like, am I the weird one? Am I expecting something that I shouldn't not expect? I think I was expecting,
Because you're constantly communicating
Yeah.
anyway, like
yeah, and then you just say something, or I'm alive, or I'm here. There is no like, I don't expect. I hate texting. I'm okay for him not texting me all the time.
but at least inform that okay.
You appreciate, I'm okay. I'm doing something, whatever.
Yeah.
Once a day or something, or
Yeah.
once every 2 days. And then I was just like, oh, cool. How's your trip? And then he was like, he tell me all about his trip within 10 minutes. I was like, but he can't be bothered to text me like
Yeah.
once within that 2 weeks. I was just like, that's weird. But probably just not into me. So I don't know whether it's a German thing or he's just not into me. So
I hope we can hear some comments from our German listeners too. I actually have some listeners in Germany, but I don't know if they are German or Filipino. Maybe they're Filipino.
But I have one of my housemate. He's German and he's lovely. He's still, even though he's already moved out, he already back to German. Back then, first 2-3 years, he still sent me a postcard.
Oh, really?
That's like so different. So I don't know whether it's a typical German or probably that's why like just personality thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, my housemate is really not, and he still like send me like birthday card, and
Oh, that's cute.
he come back in like 2 years just for holiday, and then we meet up again. That's like, so that's why.
Yeah, person by person.
Yeah.
And so when you first started dating like a different nationality, I don't know if it's just me, but I guess most of us Filipinos or maybe Asians, they are quite hesitant to date a different culture because of the maybe language barrier. Even though we speak English, it's
Yeah.
still different when you
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Me actually my husband, he's just my first boyfriend to be non-Filipino because
Okay.
I'm too hesitant to date a different nationality because I feel that it's like I don't like the language barrier, the culture shock, and I have to adjust to the person. Like, it's too much work for me.
Do you still have the language barrier?
No, not really, but it's quite different to if you say it in Filipino and in English, the thought is different. We have, I think even in your language that you have a specific word for this specific thing, but in English you have to put it into different words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will sound different or it will have a different feel to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because Philippines was colonized, right?
Yeah.
So we are very like
What's
Not
scared?
so-
Like no, what is it?
not so we feel that they're very distant. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel that it's just harder for me to approach the Caucasian people.
Okay, so this is yeah. I feel well. This is one thing that I feel. This is like 2020. Anyone out there shouldn't feel like that because you're a different culture.
Yes.
Because literally everyone are already like mushed up into like one society. Like
Yeah.
So if anyone who live in a different country and you feel you're outsider, I mean, there is no reason to feel that way anymore because, for example, Australia, everyone are immigrants.
Yeah.
Even my boyfriend is, so he's a Korean, but he born in Australia. So what is he? He's Australian, but he's actually not Australian.
Again, the blur line.
Yeah, it's a blur. Everything is already blur. So
Yeah.
you should not feel that way, and then you should embrace it. Like you just global citizen. Like
Yeah.
you should think like you are just a global citizen. You don't trying to fit with them. Like everyone should have to embrace with everyone. Like you don't feel like don't trying to fit in. No, it should be two way. It should be two-way communication. It should be they also embrace it as well.
Yeah.
Like if there is no two-way interaction, yeah, then don't bother.
Yeah, yeah. Well said, Steph.
Like
well
it's
said.
like don't trying to fit in. Like just be
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. That at that time I was like in my like younger years, and I haven't really traveled a lot. So going outside the Philippines was very different for me. It's like really like a whole new world.
Yeah.
And then after traveling, I think it really opened my eyes and made me a little bit more not shy to approach people, but I'm naturally shy, so that's why I had the podcast.
Like especially like you live in Dubai. You live in Australia. Well, you're pretty much a global citizen.
Yeah.
You live in more countries than probably Australian. So don't feel you're a foreigner. You're just a global citizen.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good that for you already had that mindset when you were younger even, because me, I was only open to this when I moved out. I think it's because you moved out
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Then that's why you had the broader view of things. So it really
it's if anyone just move out from their comfort zone or from their country or go to a new society, it takes time. Don't trying to fit in
right away.
right
or-
away. Like
Take your
obviously
time.
I live here like for 13 years. Probably that's kind of like I'm from like probably I scared before. Now I kind of like I don't care anymore. If it's not comfortable, it's good. You're trying something new.
Yeah, exactly. 3 things that our listeners should keep in mind when they maybe go out in the world. What should they prepare for?
Not everyone are nice people.
Very good.
So don't trying to fit in. Don't trying to some people when you're like I'm not fit in. Well, you don't have to fit into everything. Or just a new cool kid. That cool kid's probably not a good kid. Why you wanna fit in?
Nice.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean. I think that's and then just be yourself and don't think you're less than other people. Even though like you said, Caucasian are because of our history with things like we are less.
Yeah.
We are less or we are like below them or don't think like that. There's like so many Australian that never travel overseas
Yeah.
or not only Australian or
other
other people that they probably never have friends that are Asian. So there are actually a lot of people that they're always friends with their own people. So it's not your fault. It's also, other people also have to open their mind as well.
Yeah.
There are like some Korean in Australia who can't speak English because they always,
Talk to Koreans.
they always
yeah.
make friends with the same culture.
Yeah.
Or Chinese people that always speak Chinese and they can't speak English.
Yeah.
So just be yourself, and
By meeting other people, you will be broadening your horizon, broadening your
and
knowledge.
then don't think like it's your fault or like there's something wrong with you. People will always like, oh, because I'm like Indonesian, or like people have like so many stereotypes of Indonesian, and
Oh, you're the only one Indonesian I know actually. So I don't know a lot about. I know Bali, like,
yeah.
but I haven't been. So, and I know that Australians always go to Bali, like,
Yeah, Australian go to Bali more than me. So thinking it, and then the first,
yeah.
first person every time everyone, oh, you're Indonesian, are you Muslim? Like, well, not all Indonesian are Muslim.
the stereotype.
Yeah, but it's like they're very direct, like that's the stereotype.
I think I've had a lot of that stereotype questions even before, like even in Dubai. And here, funny thing here. So when I arrived here 2019, unfortunately I was so scared that I wouldn't get a job. So my first day here, I already have an interview with an agent, and what the agent told me was, "Oh, you speak good English." Like, I mean, like, what?
What?
Like, it's like, to you, it might be like they didn't really intend to say like what they said, but it's like, so that thinking that Filipinos or maybe Asians are not really good at speaking English, or they can speak English.
And we have to get used to that, like it's not their fault as well.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
It's not their fault as well. Back again, listeners out there.
Yeah, exactly. I very much agree with you on that, because other people or other Asians are too easily offended. You kind of understand as well the other end.
Yeah.
And maybe they haven't met maybe a lot of people from my country yet who can speak okay English. So
I don't even say my English is great. Like I talk a lot, but it doesn't mean my English is pretty bad. But then it's kind of like, well, people not value just for one thing, is for like everything. Like depend what you do. You probably bad at math, but you're very confident and very literal. Very literal. So back again, it's not your fault if people can't see you for who you are.
Yeah, very well said, Stef. I totally agree.
So don't feel less of yourself, and just be you. You do you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Stef, for your time today. I have learned a lot, and our listeners have learned a lot as well, for sure. Your experiences really have given us a lot of insight on, for us Asians who like move out of the country, and how we interact with other people, and your pieces of advice were really on point.
Just don't think of you as a less of anyone else.
Yeah. Thank you, Stef.
That's okay. Thank you for having me.
And do you want to share social media handles or?
No, I'm just a small potato, live in Brisbane.